I have one rule. I mean, there's sometimes, man, maybe I'll preach a decent message and I'll have some people in our church. They'll say, oh, Pastor Ken was on fire and have those emojis behind it. Man. Oh, the message was unbelievable. Because I know where that can take me. I never repost that.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
Because it's not about God.
That's
about
really
oh, I want them to see
good,
this.
man.
Welcome to the Legacy Kentinues podcast.
Hey, welcome back, guys. We are
What's up,
excited
everybody?
to be back with you guys. This is episode 7. Episode 7,
Wow.
man.
Wow. How you feel about it?
You know, man, I feel great, and I think this is fantastic, man. The wealth of information that's being shared with individuals. I think it's, well, at least I pray it's helping you guys. I hope it's really helping you guys understand from all aspects the importance of knowing what's involved with ministry. But, you know, this goes beyond that.
It's about life, man.
It is. It
we're
actually
talking
is.
about what faith is.
Yeah, it actually
Season
is
1,
about
that's
life.
what we're talking about,
Yeah,
faith.
that's right.
You got to have faith in parenting, faith in your marriage, whether it's ministry or business. So this is applicable for every person.
Absolutely, without
Which
question.
is a perfect segue to say subscribe, share this video.
You need to.
Right now. Hope it's been encouraging to you. Leave a comment. Let us know what you would love for us to talk about. We have so much to share in a little amount of time, but we're going to talk about this today. We talked about open doors. Everybody loves open doors.
Oh, yeah, we all love it.
But the same God, come on.
Yeah.
The same God that opens doors is the same God that closes doors.
All day, every day.
I'm going to read a passage of scripture, Revelations 3:7. It says, what he opens, no one can shut. Most pastors stop right there.
Oh, yeah.
And what he shuts,
That's right.
no one
That's right.
can open. All right, that's all I needed. That's all I needed.
Wait, are we
Yeah.
balling these back
That's
up?
all I needed.
I just want to
That's all I had on that one.
Hey, man, listen, they're going to buy it there.
Here's the thing. You can kick, you can pry,
Yes.
you can twist.
Yes.
If God doesn't want that door open,
Yeah.
that door is not opening.
Nope.
You can cry, you
Absolutely.
can pray.
Absolutely.
God's not opening that door.
Wait.
And it's a blessing
Wait.
that he doesn't open the
Hold on
door.
a second.
Yeah.
Even if I cry
No.
and I'm in fetal position crying, like I'm talking like one of those breakdown cries, man, he's still.
No, you're not going
Really?
to open that door.
Oof.
God,
Not opening it.
This is the hard part. I'm going to get in trouble.
Uh-oh.
God is not moved by your emotion.
Woo! I felt
He's
that one.
moved by your faith.
I felt that one, though.
Did you feel it?
I felt it.
He's not.
Whew.
He's not. He's compassionate.
Yes.
But it does not change the will of God.
Yes, come on.
Because of your emotion.
Come on.
It's your faith. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. Here's the good
Cannot
news about closed doors.
Yes, go.
I've missed it for a long time in my life.
Go.
The reason he closes doors is so you can move your attention to another door that is open.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
So if you keep standing by the same door, the same relationship,
Yes.
the same job, God, will you open this door? There's another door
That's right.
that is open, and the closed door is to get your attention that he
Yes.
has something better for you.
Come on.
So, man, don't despise when the door is shut.
That's right. That's right.
So this is what I tell people all the time. You trying to get a job, but I ain't get the job. Oh, man. Well, then there's a job that God has for you.
Right.
I thought promotion comes from the Lord.
Hey, we say it.
We say it.
All
Sounds
the
good.
time. Sounds amazing.
So we were at Noah's Event Venue,
Yes.
and it went bankrupt.
Yeah.
We were growing a good
was a
season.
scam.
It was a scam, a pyramid scheme.
That's insane.
It's crazy. Went bankrupt. Guy comes into town and says, hey, everything's going to be shut down in a few days. I have a conversation. Again, even in the midst of closed doors, God still gives favor, still gives grace. He's like, hey, you're allowed to be there. So we moved in there, which was great because we actually weren't paying as much. We were just paying him.
Yeah.
And we went from just having access on Sunday to having access 24. Speaking of $3 million buildings,
Yeah.
we were in a $3 million building.
Okay.
On paper, it was actually 2.1. They scammed them out of 0.9. Or they paid $7 million.
Yeah.
And we were in there, man, living the life. I'm kicking my feet up
Yeah.
on the desk.
Yeah, you living.
I'm living good.
You living good.
And then something happened that shocked the world. I don't know if you remember.
Okay.
It's called what was it called again? COVID.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
You remember that?
I remember that.
Yeah. COVID happened.
Yeah.
Let me back up a little bit, because even during that time, the owners wanted to start a business at this event venue place. Because it's like, if they paid for it, Noah's event venue isn't there anymore. They're like, we might as well start making money.
Yeah.
So they had another owner, because it was a group of 10, came into town. She met with me, and she said that she's here to interview people to be a property manager or to actually take up to be a manager in this event company. Okay. So I'm like, this is great, cool. And I was like, who are you interviewing? She was like, we got several people coming in for an interview. I was like, I know a person you should interview. Yeah. She's like, who? Me.
Yeah.
You should interview me.
Right.
Every Sunday, I have about 150 people that I can talk about, free advertising to people in our church. No one cares about the city as much as me. I should interview for the job. Yeah. And they were actually considering it. But then COVID happens, and that just changes everything. And, and we could talk about that for a long time, but that just disrupted just ministry. But you know what that really did for me? That was a great season for me. The closed door of COVID was a great season for me.
Talk about that.
I, for about 3 years, fell into what I would call the comparison trap. We're going to be honest today. Most leaders in any facet of life, whatever that may be, we compare ourselves to other people, and that's why we don't enjoy the journey that God has us on.
That's good.
That's why we don't enjoy it.
That's good.
Spiritual disciplines we talk about all the time. It's prayer, it's fasting, it's reading the word. Do you know a spiritual discipline is actually celebration? It's actually, he turned water into wine. They was partying.
Oh, yeah.
They're celebrating. When you don't celebrate what God does, what happens, you start to compare yourself. He's not a respecter of person, but you start to believe the lie that God loves other people more than he actually loves you.
That's good, man. That's really good.
So during COVID, we were all stripped away from where we got our identity from.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is the ABCs of ministry.
Yeah.
Attendance.
That's right.
Buildings. And cash.
Yeah.
How do we validate? Not everybody, but most people.
Yeah.
Hey, man, how was Sunday? Oh, Sunday was great, man. We had 155. We had 570. We baptized 18 people. We got 16 people who got saved. You don't know how many people got saved just because 16 people filled out a connection card. Now, this is just me.
No, you're telling the truth. That's good.
And we're boasting about it sometimes, even putting it on social media.
Oh, yeah.
Saying, look what the Lord has done. Is it really about the Lord or is it about us?
Boom.
Like, I'm just talking about me. You can do it with a pure heart, fine. I can't.
I love it.
I have one rule. I mean, there's sometimes, man, maybe I'll preach a decent message and I'll have some people in our church. They'll say, oh, Pastor Ken was on fire, and have those emojis behind it. Man. Oh, the message was unbelievable. Because I know where that can take me, I never repost that.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
Because it's not about God.
That's
about
really
oh, I want them to see
good,
this.
Man.
Oh, I want them. Why?
You got to stay there for a second.
Why are we posting it? Why are we reposting? Is it really giving glory to God?
Come on, man. That's good. That's so good.
This is just me. I'm talking about God's. He's working on me.
Yeah, but I think it's most of us.
Yeah. And so I had to get away from the comparison trap.
So good.
And once I started to get away from the comparison trap, I started to realize what God was actually doing in me, through me, and in our church. And I started to enjoy the experience because the scoreboard was stripped away of what we deem successful.
Yes.
If you ask most people, I'm going to say even most pastors, what is our job as a leader? Yeah. Most pastors will miss it. That's good. Our job as a leader is not to hold church services. Our job as a leader is to make disciples. So watch this. Jesus fed 5,000. The next day was down to 12.
Yeah, right.
We would look at his ministry like it was a failure.
Yeah.
And so during COVID, we did a series and actually an initiative called Reset. I reset everything. Okay. Every leadership position, every group, cease and desist. We stopped everything. And I said this, and thank God for networks, thank God for books and all that stuff. We need them. But back in the day, man, all people had was a Bible and listening to the Holy Spirit. I said, God, you got to speak to me.
Right.
We now in this thing about 4 years now. I need you to give me the blueprint of how you're calling me to operate within Crossover Church.
That's good. That's so good.
And that took months. But God started to chip away, number one, just the insecurity, the pride, the jealousy in certain things. I mean, there's some conferences that I didn't even enjoy going to because I felt I was in last place.
Come on, man.
And this is what I discovered.
Come on.
When you're looking up to someone, someone's always looking up to you.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we can be jealous of other people, but then I realized some people were jealous of me.
That's right.
I'm like, man, I wish I had that.
Right.
And I discovered some people were like, man, I wish I got what Ken has.
That's right. That's very true.
And so I had to realize, Ken, just be faithful. And God really just gave this to me, which has been kind of my calling card, is just success equals faithfulness. Faithfulness equals fruitfulness.
Yeah, that's good.
Just because something is growing doesn't make it fruitful.
Yeah, say that one more time. They need to write that down. Y'all need to write this down because this will help you. Say it one more time.
Success equals faithfulness.
That's good.
Faithfulness equals or leads to fruitfulness.
That's good, man.
And we talked about it last episode, John chapter 15. Again, it says that he prunes in order for more fruit to be produced.
Yeah, that's so good.
So what happened during COVID? I think it was a season of pruning. And people were upset about it, but it was actually for more fruit to be produced.
Absolutely.
You know? And so now during COVID, we don't have a building. We got to figure this thing out. But you can always make disciples. You can always pour into people without a service.
That's right.
So we completely changed the structure of our church. We started doing gender-specific discipleship groups. And, man, it was really an awesome time. But God closed the door. He always opens another door, as well. And so eventually we end up going back to church. And we tried everything, man. We tried, we're going to go back on Saturday. We're going to go back, The left side's going to have masks. The right side's not going to have masks. These are the people. What were the different shots? These are the people who had, what was the shots called?
The vaccinations, you mean?
Yeah, vaccinations. One was called, I don't even know what they call it. I'm about to say Viagra. I know that's what was it called.
No, what was like the Johnson & Johnson?
The Johnson & Johnson.
Was it the Merdendum or whatever it's called?
Miranda rights.
Miranda something, man. Merdendum.
So the left side, if you had the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, you sit on the left side.
Right.
Okay, if you had this particular vaccine, you sit on the right side. I mean, just all these different protocols.
Yeah.
And it was just confusing. It was confusing. I just had to get up in church. I don't know what I'm doing. You don't know either. I mean, every single day. And it was just a season you could not please anybody.
Right.
It was a difficult season.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
You say you're going to wear masks, the no-maskers are mad about it. You say you're not going to wear masks, the people who have masks are mad. I mean, you just could not win.
That's right.
But the goal, I believe, now looking back, is just to be faithful.
That's it.
Just to be faithful, man. And so we go back. Good. We go back. I mean, a few of us, the remnant of God, are coming back to church.
Sure.
And you have to get to a place, and I had to get there, where I stopped caring about numbers and started caring about the transformation within the numbers.
Yeah, that's right. But I think that's so important what you just stated, in that you began to care about what mattered most.
What always matters.
That's right. That's what always matters. It's not about, man, who's showing up on Sunday. It's about when they show up, what are we doing with them to help develop them, right?
Yeah, because again, and I'm not anti-conference. I like going to conferences, but sometimes we look at that person on stage as if that's a success story.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That is the outlier.
That's right. That's exactly
the
what we
outlier.
Do. Well,
as if everyone can do that.
But that's why they book them. Yeah. They book them because of that. They book them because
I want to have a conference that says ministry sucks.
Let's do it.
I literally want to have a conference. I was telling one of my friends. And I said, listen, they need to, I think I can lead a breakout on transition because we've moved 9 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really think I can. But it's...
You should do it. Hey, you should do a session called The Closer. That would be The Closer.
Yeah, man.
But you're right. I think that's real what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
Seriously, I think that's so true what you're saying, man. It's like, it's a lot involved with this. And if you don't understand what you're getting into, then you're missing it, because it's all interconnected to even your family.
Yes.
Right? So while all this is happening, though, with everything going on, how is that dynamic impacting your family as well? Especially from a pastor's position, where now your church was still, I mean, you weren't growing in numbers, but you were still being blessed, though, right? I mean, I think you had talked about that before, right? Where you were still being taken care of economically. God was still providing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so one of the things during COVID, probably my 4th year in the ministry, I had a part-time job. Now I'm actually full-time with Sin Network.
Sure.
So I've never been in a position where I had to rely on the church to
Sure.
take care of me.
Sure.
And I never wanted to be in a position to rely on the church.
Talk about that,
to
though.
take care of me.
But I want to hear you talk about that, though. That's really good.
Before we get in trouble, you got to ask a specific question.
No, I'm not going to even ask the question. But
yeah.
I really want you to talk about that in regards to, you just said something that's really, I think, critically important, that you never wanted to be in the position. Why did you not want to be in the position? I'm curious to see why.
So for me, I think when it goes back to family, I don't want to be in a position now where I'm making moves out of desperation.
Yeah.
Every move that we made was out of call. It wasn't out of desperation. I may have thought it was desperation when we moved from Birmingham Seaholm to Southfield High, but that was just a place God used to cut. And so for me, I want to be as pure as possible.
Yeah.
I don't want to play games.
That's good,
I don't want to
man.
play gimmicks with
Really
anyone.
good. Really good.
I'm not stressed out about it.
That's really good.
Now I'm in a position where, I mean, if our offering's low, I don't want it to be low, but I'm good. That's not really my main
That's
provider.
so good, man.
You know, I enjoy being at our church, but like God has blessed us. We good.
Yeah.
My wife works a full-time job.
Yeah.
God forbid if something happened to Crossover Church,
Yeah.
we can still pay the rent at our house.
Exactly.
My kids are, young. They don't know what's going on. We
Sure.
shield them from that. All they know is church.
Yeah.
So they just, and I think so. The ministry really has been good, for us. Yes, we've had challenges. We've had some difficult moments, but the good outweighs the bad. But this is, again, what I've learned, that your fulfillment cannot come from ministry. Your fulfillment has to come from God.
Yeah, that's right.
If you want to get fulfillment from ministry, it's going to disappoint you every single time because
That's
it does not give back the same way
That's
that
right.
you give out.
That's right.
Here's a question I want to ask you. This is something that I've been thinking about the last couple of days. We threw the script away. There's a question going around on Facebook, and I typically do not comment on Facebook comments, but this is one quote that is bothering me,
Okay.
and I'm getting a lot of hate, and I posted it.
Okay.
Someone said, pastors switch up once you leave and go to another church. Pastors switch up and change the relationship once a member goes to another church.
Are they saying, just so I understand the question correctly, are they saying that they switch up to that person?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
an example
Okay.
is someone's at your church.
Okay.
And then they leave, go to another church. And the premise of it, the relationship should stay the same. And I responded, how does that work out practically?
Yeah.
There's
That's a
no
great
way
question.
that it can. It's not that I'm disrespectful to someone. Okay, let me just talk about one of the hardest things. Can I talk about it?
Yeah.
One of the hardest things as a pastor, when people leave to go to another church,
Yeah.
but they still expect you to pastor them.
Yeah. Right. Okay, I got one even better for you though. That's good. But let's take it here. I'm gonna give you a scenario. This is a true scenario, by the way. Since we're here, since you went here,
You keep talking. Put the camera on him. I'm gonna pick up the holy word that I dropped.
but here you go. True scenario. Know of someone who left. No, I'm sorry. Was attending the church, right? And the church they were attending, the statement was made, yeah, it's not really for me. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No problem at all. I'm going to join this mega ministry that's in a completely different part of the country.
Okay, online.
Okay. I'm going to join.
Yep.
Now that goes back to your statement you made earlier. And this is when I was told that. This is what I was sharing with another brother, in ministry, and where he was sharing with me, and I was like, how does that even work? How do you even manage that when you have complications or difficulties in your life? Because who's there to really help you process through that?
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you that person is nowhere near thinking about you, man, or even has time to even try to communicate with you.
Yeah.
So I guess to your point, that's a great point you ask. How does that even work practically?
Oh, I was getting blasted.
But how does that? But okay, so somebody out there, you tell us how it works practically. Because here you go. How do you do a long distance relationship with someone that you say you love?
Yeah.
I thought the idea was for you to come together and be cohesively in the same space. Has things shifted that much, man, that we think that this is the norm now?
And then people started using, well, Jesus wouldn't do that. And I said, yes, he would.
What?
Jesus, watch it now, because this is where we get in trouble when you actually use the Bible. Jesus had compassion for the crowd.
Yes.
But the same Jesus told those jokers when they ate the 5,000,
that's right.
You pick up the loaves, get your butt back in the boat.
Right.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, that's right.
Then those people who came after Jesus saw Jesus on the other side of the sea. Yep. And they said, oh, we want some of them biscuits again. We want some of that Chick-fil-A again.
We want them coffee and donuts.
What Jesus said? He said, you want the bread, but you're missing it. I'm the bread of life.
That's exactly right.
He says, if you don't eat my flesh and drink my blood, you will have no part of me. They said, ooh, John 6, verse 66. How do you know, Ken? Because I need this verse. Ooh, this is a hard teaching.
Yeah, this is a hard teaching. That's right.
And it says that they do not follow him anymore. He looks back at his disciples and says, what about you? And they said, where will we go?
Yeah, where are we going to go?
Jesus spent 80% of his ministry with 12 people.
That's right.
Okay. Let me tell you this story of this farmer who had a wife. And they went out to the city one day, or they were driving in a car, and they come up to a red light. And the wife is like, man, we used to cuddle at the red light. We used to hold hands. You used to kiss me at the red light. We used to be freaky deaky at the red. She didn't say that.
Yeah, no, but you know, that's our version.
We used to be so close. Yeah. And the farmer looked at his wife and said, I never moved.
There you go. There you go, right there.
Ken Neither is at Crossover Church.
Yeah, I never moved.
Every single Sunday. Right. I never moved. The proximity issue, I feel great about this one, has nothing to do about me.
That's right.
Has everything to do about the decision that you made.
That's right.
But people look back as if it's the pastor's fault.
Because
I never moved.
That's right.
I'm in the same place.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But when life happens, what happens?
Yeah.
Well, pastor, Let me just. I'm gonna share this. I gotta share this. This is gonna be funny. I'm gonna get in trouble. It's okay.
It's okay. Go ahead, man.
I discovered that there's a group of pastors that need to be healed. I thought I was the only one. Pastor, if you're watching, this is gonna bless you because you've been played. I've been played.
Yes.
I am no longer. Listen to me. Signing forms for your kids to go to a Christian school. You know what happens? They don't go to your church.
That's right.
Come back for 3 weeks. You think they're coming back to your church.
Nah,
then that third week, hey, pastor, we trying to go to a Christian school. Can you sign? And on that document, it says, do they serve in church? Right. Do they give to the church? Right. And now I'm lying.
Right.
So I got to have that conversation. So you coming back to serve, right? And you never see them again.
Yeah.
Man, we get played so much.
Oh, yeah.
By people.
Oh, yeah.
And so for me, I'm just not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
So you put me in a position.
But that's fair, though.
You know, so we're just living in a day and age where I think, now sometimes we take the pastor thing too far, but the day of what a pastor is, it's done for most people. Yeah. On what that is, because you kind of talked about it, and we've been talking about the call. You talked about out of respect for Dr. Mormon. Yeah. And that you trusted the God in them to talk to you.
Absolutely.
And that was one of the reasons why you came.
Absolutely.
Man, what I'm realizing is we're living in a day and age where this is one of the hardest parts that I discovered about ministry. Mm-hmm. Everyone that comes to your church doesn't like you.
Yeah.
That shocked me.
Yeah.
I found that early on in ministry. I thought everyone who came would like you. No, some people like you're a gift.
That's right.
They don't necessarily like you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Talk about that.
Pastor, listen, man, in his development of me, man, and basically, laying hands on me, anointing me, calling me to become a pastor, not calling me, but pretty much, say, hey, I believe God is calling you to be a pastor, son. Yeah. When that happened, man, as he's training me, and even now, as he's developing and training me, man, he's always sharing with me, son. It's going to be a lot of people that's going to hate your guts.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to hate your guts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, and I'm hearing them, and I'm listening, man, because listen, man, I'm like, listen, you've been doing this going on 40 years, way longer than me, man. So I need to shut up and just listen to what you're saying. Yeah. And so when I hear you say that, I laugh because you're echoing him. And I'm like, man, here's Ken, younger guy, we in the same age bracket, man, been doing ministry, man, as a lead pastor. I'm like, he's like pastor now. That's what I'm saying. I'm literally saying, like,
but we all think we're going to be different. Oh, that's not going to be me.
What it is, we think everybody's going to like us. People like me because I'll be different.
We're not called to be likable. We're called to be faithful.
There you go. And we could technically end right there for anybody. But see, even beyond, okay, let's take it even outside of ministry. Let's just talk about life, period.
Yeah.
Everybody's not going to like you.
Galatians 1:10, I believe it talks about this idea that if you want the approval of men,
yes,
you won't get the approval of God.
That's
this
right.
is what I've learned. That if God is pleased, that people will not be pleased with you.
Yeah.
But if you please people, then God won't be pleased.
Yeah.
And you have a decision to make every single day. Is it a good thing or is it a God thing?
Yeah.
And so, again, we're talking about this whole idea of when God closes a door, right? Yeah. And the benefit of a closed door, that there's an open door that's there. And so from COVID, we come back to church, probably about 6 months. We're like, okay. And then just for us, everybody's context is completely different. So we're not talking about should you get a vaccine, mask, and all that. I'll leave that up to you.
Right.
But people started to get more comfortable coming back. I mean, we did the whole thing, outdoor service at the park, all these different things. I mean, we're preaching in front of a camera for about a year and a half. Man, I had some sermons where I was preaching. I was like, ooh, I killed that one. And I go back and be like, yeah, I didn't even press record. I've had some terrible moments. The audio didn't work. I had some Sundays, please forgive. I was like, we taking a Sabbath Sunday. I just didn't feel like filming. I'm calling some of my friends up. Hey, can we use your sermon? Man, so we eventually go back. People started coming back to our church.
Yeah.
We're in a beautiful facility. This is probably a month before Easter.
Are you back inside Noah's?
Yeah, Noah's event venue. Now we're calling it Crossover Church.
Okay.
It's not even Noah's event venue. They stripped the name off. So this is Crossover Church.
Okay, hold on a second. Wait, they stripped the name off because of the whole issues.
Yeah, so it was they were bankrupt. It was no longer a business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're there now for about a year. Everything that I'm talking about is about a 2.5 year journey.
Okay.
COVID, obviously, a year and some change. So we're back now. And we're like, okay, this is a season of growth. We went through our pruning season.
Yeah.
Now God is doing some amazing things. We got a full band. I mean, it's pumping in there. Great things are happening. We're like, man, we going to 2 services.
Yeah.
I'm back like we at Southfield High School. We going to 2 services. I better be careful because every time we say 2 services, that hand start twitching. I'm like, here we go.
Oh, my goodness.
2 services. And one day, this is funny, my worship leader at the time, Sam, shout out to you. He was faithful in our church for about 2 years.
Okay.
The Lord spoke to him, and he moved to Charlotte. So
he went to North Carolina.
He lives in Charlotte right now.
Sam, you ain't never coming back, are you? Just tell everybody you ain't never coming back.
He ain't coming back.
He ain't never coming back.
Found another church home. It's all good. Nah, very faithful. Great man of God. He calls me and says, Pastor, there's a note on the door. What you mean? Well, UPS didn't drop something off. Like, it was a note from the city that says that we are in violation of meeting in this building. We were there for 2 years.
Oh, my goodness.
This was a couple weeks before Easter. We're about to go to 2 services. And it's one of them notes that you can't really take off. It ain't one of them posters.
No, yeah.
That boy ain't coming on. And I'm like, what are we going to do? So God, he will open a door, he will close a door, he will open a door, and he will close a door.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
And I'm getting to the place in my life where it doesn't matter if it's the enemy or God. That's right. This is where I'm at.
Yeah, that's right.
I think we spend so much time. Is this the enemy?
Yeah.
Or is this God?
That's right.
You might as well just start praying to God regardless.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
all you can do.
You look at the story of Jonah, right? Jonah goes in the opposite direction. Yeah. And I was thinking about this. It says that the Lord brought the storm.
Right. That's right.
When the Lord brings the storm, who do you pray to?
Yeah, that's right. You better take it to him.
Oh, this is the enemy. The Lord brought the storm.
Right.
Somebody watching, there are some things right now in your life you think it's the devil.
Yeah. Come on.
It is God.
Come on. Tell it.
Who is getting you to a place
tell the truth.
For you to look
yes.
at an open door
yes.
and stop worshiping a closed door.
Yes.
God opens doors, but it's the same God that closes doors.
Yes, sir.
Watch this. This is so important.
Yeah.
This is why God can't bless some people.
Come on. That's real.
When God brings a blessing in your life, we're not supposed to be excited about the blessing. We're supposed to be excited about the blessor.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Luke chapter 5, man, Jesus is on a boat with Peter, right? And he's like, man, throw out your net. He gets the biggest blessing they've ever received. All these fish are coming into the boat. He calls his homeboys, hey, I'm about to drown. Hey, my homeboys can get some too. It's like, so now, and then Jesus says, hey, come follow me. You know what's interesting about the story? That was the biggest blessing Peter's ever received.
Yeah, that's right.
It says they left everything.
Yeah,
Woo!
everything.
And followed him.
Everything.
They didn't take the fish.
Right. They left it all.
They just followed him.
That's right.
I'm going to go with the guy who can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to worship the fish in the boat.
Right.
And too many of us are worshiping the fish in the boat.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. You
instead of following
You
after God.
Reach.
Where's the script at, man? It's on the ground.
That thing is.
We just
Yeah,
talking.
just.
All right.
That's good, man.
So, a note on the door.
Yeah.
There's a blessing in a note on the door.
Yeah. Come on. And you can't get the note off, by the way.
Can't get the door. I'm calling the city like, what's going on? Oh, you guys are in violation, zoning issues.
Yeah.
You can't meet there.
Yeah.
Now it's a week before Easter.
A week before Easter.
So we have to pivot. Like, a few days beforehand, we go to another hotel. I don't know. That might be move 5 or 6. I'm confused. I don't remember.
You lost track at this point.
I've lost track.
Yeah, at this point, you just lost track.
So we go there for one Sunday. Then I'm like, okay. I'm going to call up the city because actually now I'm looking at articles from Southfield. I'm reading some literature and all these zoning issues. I'm trying to be a proficient in zoning laws and all these different things. I'm like, wait a minute now. Hold on. Yeah. We're not in violation of zoning issues because we don't own the building. So it's not a zoning issue.
Yeah.
We're actually leasing from an owner who owns the building.
Right.
So they were like, okay, good point. But then they come back with another note on the door and says, you have an issue with a certificate of occupancy that was years ago that had nothing to do with us. So I think what happened, the owners were there. There were some things that they had to clean up or pay for, but then Noah's Event Venue came, right? And then they paid for it.
Yeah.
But since they went bankrupt, now that stuff falls back on them.
Oh,
That's what I think that happened.
Got you.
And so we're displaced. I'm thinking it's going to be like a week or two. They tell us the things that got to get fixed. I mean, it was crazy stuff.
And this is before Easter service.
Well, now we didn't have service for Easter. Now this is after us trying to get back in.
Wait, so where'd you have Easter service at, though?
We had it at a hotel.
Okay.
Yeah, at a hotel. Then after that, we were doing like outdoor services.
So you're scrambling, though, I'm saying, up to this point, trying to get ready for Easter service.
We're scrambling, getting ready for Easter. I mean,
the biggest service really for everybody.
Yeah, a couple weeks after that. I don't even know if we met. It's all a blur. I know we had a couple outdoor services. We went online. It's exhausting, man. It's exhausting just talking about it. So we get kicked out. Again, I'm thinking it's just going to be maybe a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months. I mean, the city tells us, hey, you put down the wrong cedar, the fertilizer, the landscape. You got to dig it all up. So the owners actually put new cedar in the ground. It's supposed to be red cedar or something like that.
Oh, my goodness.
And then they said,
serious?
Yeah, just crazy stuff.
Are you serious?
Yes. It just dragged on 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And it just came to a point where like, all right, God, you got to be doing something else.
That's right.
The God that opens doors, closes doors.
Same one.
The same God that closes doors, opens doors.
Right.
And so, hey, looks like the door's closed. Where we're going next, it's like finding Waldo, bro. This is hard. It was easier finding Osama bin Laden than it was finding where Crossover Church is going to be on Sunday. Oh, that's wrong.
Okay, anyway.
It was easier, man. Catch us if you can.
Yeah.
And, man, we're going to stop right there because I don't even remember the next place we went to. I honestly don't. Some hotel. Someplace. There's a blessing behind a closed door.
Yes, it is.
A closed door gets you to the place to depend
Yes.
on God.
Yes.
My relationship with God has strengthened. Not perfect, got my own issues.
Sure.
But I wouldn't change it for, I would. I was about to lie right there. But I've learned, I would change it. There's some things in the story I would change.
Absolutely.
But I've learned so much about myself, so much about God. I'll end on this. I really will. We've moved a total of 9 times now.
What? No.
A total of 9 times.
Are you sure?
Now, here's the challenge.
9 times?
Yeah, by the time we record another episode, it'll probably...
in 4, was it
6 years.
6 years?
6 years, 9 times.
Man.
So I believe I planted 9 churches. Because you can move across the street. You're going to start over again.
You got to.
Yeah. So this is what I discovered, though. Year 1, year 2, when we moved 2 or 3 times, what did that do? It built the faith that I have now to where God has taken us.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Now, this is very important. We're talking about faith, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but I feel good about this one.
Yeah.
When we moved from the Caustic Center to the Noah's Event venue, the rent went up 4 times as much. And at that time, I'm looking at our Comerica account.
Yeah.
I'm looking at P.O. Box 930, Southfield, 48390 if you want to drop a check off.
There you go, right there.
In the left-hand corner, the one on the bottom, when you put your hand in, you're going to scratch somebody's kneecap. Man, we needed faith just to make that move to Noah's Event.
Sure.
Right. I'm getting ahead of myself, but we're getting close to closing a deal in Southfield, right? And I'm going to be honest with you. When I first looked at that number, I was like, bro, how are we going to afford this?
Yeah.
Because now we're not, get out of my pockets. I ain't going to tell you exactly how much it is. But you know what the Lord spoke to me, man? This is about having proactive prayers.
Yeah.
Hey, Ken, it's 4 times as much.
Yep.
You need the same amount of faith.
That's right.
Now
That's good.
than you had back then.
That's good.
The number's higher.
Yeah.
But it's the same amount of faith.
Yeah.
So, man, maybe you're in a season where you believe that God has closed the door, but yet there's another open door, and you're thinking now, how in the world am I going to be able to do what God is asking me to do? Yeah. Now you have all these different stories, all these different things that God has done in your life, these deposits of faith that God has given you. I'm going to tell you, man, when we moved 1, 2, and 3, I was a nervous wreck, couldn't sleep. I'm good now.
Yeah, now you just like, hey.
Because this is number 9 for me, man. Yeah. If God would have left us, he would have did that a long time ago, man.
Oh, yeah.
There is not a YouTube video. There's not a meme. There is nothing you can show me that tells me that God is not real.
Come on, man. Come on.
It's easy to say that God's a provider until you need provision.
That's exactly.
It's easy to say that God's a healer until you get a doctor's note, right?
Yes, sir.
Some things can only be learned through experience.
Absolutely.
I went to seminary, but seminary didn't teach me how to pray. It taught me the theology of prayer. That's right. Seminary did not teach me how to get through difficult moments, but it showed me the verse that talks about how to get through difficult moments. But you got to get to a place where God becomes real to yourself, and that we praise the same God.
Yes, Lord.
He's the same God of the open door and the closed door. Amen. And here's the good news, that if it's a closed door, that means he has an open door for you. Yeah. Let's land the plane right there, man.
Right there, brother.
All right, man.
Next time.
The legacy continues, man. Season 1. We're talking about faith, and we want you to go on this journey with us. Let us know how this is connecting with you in the comments, and we'll see you next time. Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode of the Legacy Continues podcast. This is what I want you to do. I want you to like, subscribe, and share this video. Let us know how this is connecting with you in the comments, and I can't wait to see you on the next episode.